Hello and welcome. I'm Melinda Akinlami. Tonight, President Muhammadu Buhari addresses Nigerians in a nationwide broadcast and encourages everyone to vote candidates of their choice. The president also tells international observers that there is nothing to fear as their safety is guaranteed. Faction of the APC storms INEC office in Rivers State, threatens to resist non-inclusion on the ballot as Governor Nyesom Wike alerts on alleged plans to frustrate the exercise. And on the foreign scene, countries across the world are seeking peace in the Middle East.
On business news tonight, Bankers Committee announces plan to support Nigeria's creative industry and information technology sectors to create jobs and improve the nation's gross domestic product.
And on sports news tonight, Super Eagles forward Audio Nigalo reunites with former manager Sanchez Flores after signing a 3-year deal for the Chinese Super League team.
And from Abuja, as political parties round off campaigns, Inspector General of Police issues restrict order on vehicular movement during Saturday's exercise.
The global community will focus on Nigeria on Saturday as the nation goes to the poll to elect new sets of leaders. Ahead of that big moment, the President, Muhammadu Buhari, in a nationwide broadcast today, has asked Nigerians to troop out in mass to vote their conscience. He also used the opportunity to allay the fears of the international observers by assuring them of their safety.
Fellow citizens, on Saturday, February 16, 2019, you will once again be called upon to choose the leaders who will follow the affairs of our great nation for the next 4 years. This is a constitutional right which should be freely exercised by all eligible voters. I wish therefore to start by assuring all Nigerians that this government will do its very best to ensure that the 2019 elections take place in a secure and peaceful atmosphere. It was indeed such free, fair, and peaceful elections that made it possible for our government to emerge, despite the fact that we are contesting against a long-standing incumbent party. And as your president and a fellow Nigerian, I ask that you come out and queue to fulfill this important obligation you have to yourselves and your fellow citizens and to our common future. Let me at this point reaffirm the commitment of the federal government to the conduct of free and fair elections in a safe and peaceful atmosphere. Just yesterday, I signed the peace accord alongside 72 other presidential candidates. I want to assure all Nigerians, the diplomatic community, and all foreign election observers of their safety and full protection. Any comments or threats of intimidation from any source does not represent the position of the federal government of Nigeria. As government has a critical role in maintaining the democratic traditions, so do citizens. I therefore urge you all, as good Nigerians, to take a personal interest in promoting and maintaining peace in your respective neighborhoods during the elections. This is certainly not a time to allow personal, religious, sectional, or party interest to drive us to desperation. At this point, I want to make a official appeal to our youth. Do not allow yourselves to be used to cause violence and destruction. The people who want to incite you are those preparing the ground for discrediting the elections. Having lost the argument, they fear losing the elections. That our choices have had consequences about employment and cost of living. In making your choice this time, please ask yourself whether and in what ways others will do anything different to address the issues of agriculture, infrastructure, security, good governance, and fighting corruption. If they are only hoping to do what we are already doing successfully, we are clearly your preferred choice. Think carefully and choose wisely.
And as the president preaches peaceful conduct of the 2019 elections, the factions of the APC are beating the drums of war, threatening to shut down INEC office if their candidates are not on the ballot on Saturday. Well, the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, is warning against this lawlessness, even as he claims that he has security reports of secret moves to disrupt the elections in the state. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Ere, has this report.
As early as 8 a.m., factional members of the APC staged a protest at the gates of the Independent National Electoral Commission, barricading access to the premises of the commission. Not even the resident electoral commissioner was allowed entrance, but for the intervention of security operatives.
I've received the letter you've addressed to the commission. As you know, it is the commission that takes the decision. It's not the resident electoral commissioner. So we'll pass your message to the commission.
Then the people moved to the factional party secretariat. From the look on their faces, it is certainly not a laughing matter.
We wish to state advisedly that obedience to the rule of law is the best antidote to anarchy. In the circumstances, we urge INEC to speedily implement the rule of law and return our great party to its rightful place.
Elsewhere, the governor also has his grouse. He is alleging plans to cause insecurity in the state.
Credible intelligence has linked the Minister of Transportation and his cohorts and the factionalized APC to prevent the peaceful conduct of the general elections in Rivers State with the support of some unpatriotic military and police officers.
Calm has since returned to the commission as everything seems set for the elections, with many banking on the promises of security agencies. The security of lives and property is guaranteed before and after the polls. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.
Most political parties are at the last stretch of their campaigns ahead of D-Day. In Adamawa State, the PDP held what they call the finale of their campaign.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party arriving for the final presidential rally in Adamawa State. He immediately goes to the palace of the Lamido of Adamawa to pay homage and ask for his blessings.
I would like to call on all Nigerians, politicians, and the rest to try to copy the former chairman and presidential candidate of the GNPP, Alhaji Waziri Ibrahim, by playing politics without bitterness, because we are all brothers and sisters.
From there, it is a slow drive through the city as supporters line the streets to welcome the candidate home. At the Mahmoud Ribadu Square, venue of the rally, a crowd is waiting. The national chairman of the party tells the people to support their son as the country has supported him. He also has a warning for the federal government.
We want to warn also that INEC, please that you are under pressure by Buhari to postpone this election. Don't postpone any election. Nigerians will refuse any postponement.
For the presidential candidate, this is a homecoming.
I have not come here to campaign. I have come here to say I am back home. Do you want me to campaign for you?
This is the last stop in a campaign trail that has lasted over 3 months. All eyes will now be on the elections and the results that will follow. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
It's not only the president that's asking for a peaceful conduct of the election. The international community is also concerned about peace in Nigeria. The head of the United Nations Office to West Africa and the Sultan of Sokoto have canvassed for an urgent action to ensure that the 2019 general elections are peaceful and credible. The UN envoy is one of the dignitaries who spoke at the 43rd memorial anniversary of Nigeria's 4th head of state, Murtala Mohammed, in Abuja.
It's barely 24 hours to the February 16th presidential election in Nigeria, and as it has been in the preceding weeks, the call for peaceful and credible elections has continued to dominate discussions across the country. At this year's memorial lecture for Nigeria's former head of state, General Murtala Mohammed, in Abuja, both the United Nations envoy to West Africa and the president of ECOWAS emphasized the importance of conducting peaceful and credible elections in Nigeria.
In any election, there's going to be a winner and a loser. Those who win should show magnanimity, and those who lose should gracefully accept defeat. There is no place for incitement to violence.
ECOWAS called on all candidates in the election to accept the outcome of the exercise and, where in dispute, seek redress through lawful means. The stability of our region depends on the stability of Nigeria, our natural leader.
On his part, the Sultan of Sokoto highlights why Nigeria's general elections is of international interest. He also urges citizens to turn out en masse to vote and protect their votes, just as the Emir of Kano calls on politicians to open the political space to young people.
I want to call on all Nigerians. Go out, exercise your rights, vote for the candidate you feel is best for you, and ensure you protect your vote, and ensure the person whom you think or you believe will help Nigeria emerges, because you are the ones who control everything.
It is extremely important for the older generation, while they are alive, to hand this country over to the next generation and watch them and guide them so that when they are gone, they are happy.
Although there is a consensus that elections in Nigeria have improved incrementally, the keynote speaker emphasizes the need to prosecute those who compromise electoral processes.
Because most of the criminals in elections support powers that win after elections, they don't prosecute anybody. But we cannot improve unless we discover the will to hold accountable those who mess around with the will of the people. And there's good reason for that. Anybody who can steal the will of the people will steal everything.
The 2019 presidential election is arguably the most keenly contested election since the return to democracy in 1999, with over 70 candidates running for the office of the president.
On a programming note, we would like to inform our esteemed viewers that a documentary on the president and APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari will be aired after the news at 10. That's at 11 p.m. tonight. In part 2, after the break, political parties on the home stretch of their campaigns canvass votes from the electorate. Please stay with us.